I'm Al Troutwig along with Marty LaCory and Catherine Switzer, and our field crew will be along shortly as we stand by for the women's 3,000-meter final. Already today, the Olympic teams for the United States decided for the 400-meter hurdles in the men and the 100 meters for the women. And this now will be the stage for the American star who has been famous in victory and in defeat. Mary Slaney has shown us very, very much, but she has never shown us that she can win an Olympic gold medal, but she knows where she stands.
I think I'm a good runner. I think I'm a good athlete. I think I'm probably one of the best track athletes in middle distances. I've missed a lot of Olympics, and then the last Olympics just wasn't a successful Olympics for me, that I have stayed focused on my goals, my personal goals, whether they're time goals, Olympic goals, or, whatever the case is. And that's kept me in the sport and kept the interest in the sport because I really enjoy what I'm doing.
She will always be remembered for the fall with controversial Zola Budd during the 1984 Summer Games. But what should also be remembered about Mary was the year that followed. For in 1985, she went amazingly undefeated. The highlight of that year was a convincing victory over Zola Budd in England. All in all, that year felt
great. I mean, the only feeling that I can say might be better is winning at the Olympics.
1985 was also the year that Mary Decker married British discus thrower Richard Slaney. And that quickly led to a new Slaney named Ashley. The training, the interviews, and the life of America's premier middle distance runner would never be quite the same.
Not the kind that gets you ready to race fast. It's okay.
It's wonderful. It's not like anything I'd ever dreamed it would be. I think that being a mother is more special than I had thought it could possibly be before having the baby.
This is the memory of Mary in 1984. This is the vision of Mary in 1988. And this is what she is working to look like when the 3,000-meter race in Seoul is over. And there is the American record holder in every distance from 800 meters to 10,000 meters, and the American record holder in the mile. She is now 29 years old, Mary Slaney from Eugene, Oregon. She does not, however, hold the world record in this distance, the women's 3,000 meters, which is upcoming. There is Vicki Huber, who will be a factor, we believe, in this race, a two-time NCAA title holder in the 3,000 meters, a junior at Villanova. She won the last NCAA title last month in Eugene. She has a tremendous amount of respect for the woman who will be in lane 11.
I'm scared. I've never even seen Mary Slaney in person. I thought maybe I'd get a glimpse when the Nationals were out in Oregon, but she was in California, I think. I'm very nervous about meeting her, just because the whole aspect of meeting her and then also racing against her, it's scary.
Wasn't even sure she was going to be a top track runner in 1984 when she watched the Olympics on television, but since then she has really emerged to be someone special, all-around athlete, a gymnast, and a field hockey player. There's the world record held by the Soviet runner Tatiana Kazenkinka at 8:22.62, and the American record held by Mary Slaney of 8 minutes 25 seconds and 83 hundredths of a second. So now the cloud cover moving over the track here at Indiana University Track Stadium. That could cool it off a little bit as we look at the rest of the field. Ruth Wysocki, 31 years old. Vicki Huber, the woman we spoke of. Sabrina Dornhoefer, a former NCAA champion in the 5,000 meters. Carla Borovica. Lori Beerson, who runs for the U.S. Army. Trina Leopold. Annette Hand, the NCAA title over 5,000 meters last month. Mary Knisley, who was very, very impressive in warm weather previously at the Pan American Games last summer when she won the gold medal in this event. It was 94 degrees and 57% humidity. Libby Johnson, Penny Graves, then Slaney, Leslie Seymour, PattiSue Plummer, and Annie Schweitzer. Marty?
Well, that is the key right now. With the temperatures that high, the runners trying to qualify for the team have to keep their wits about them. There really should be two races out here. They should let Mary Slaney just run her own race and let her go and then concentrate on each other, because if anyone tries to go with Mary Slaney, especially in this heat, and mispaces themselves, they won't run the race that they should run. They will die in the last 2 or 3 laps. So we'll see. For a number of reasons, will probably let Mary totally control the race. As you saw Vicki Huber mention she's very nervous about running against Mary. It's very hard to run against anyone and trade elbows with anyone when they're your idol.
I think Mary just stepped up to the wrong line. Well, she's never done this before. All right, finally we're off on the women's 3,000-meter final. The top 3 positions will represent the United States at the Summer Olympics in Seoul, South Korea. And right off the start, Mary Slaney has grabbed the lead, and right behind her is PattiSue Plummer, the graduate of Stanford. And moving up is Vicki Huber from Villanova in 3rd. So it's Slaney, PattiSue Plummer, and Vicki Huber. And then behind them is Trina Leopold, number 567, in 4th place. After that, it's a very tight field as they complete lap number 1. 400 yards each time around, 400 meters each time around.
A very confident Mary Slaney, because to go out and lead in this heat and win, as she comes around this next turn, she heads into the backstretch, beginning the second of what will be 7.5 laps. She'll be running into the wind, and to do that for 7.5 laps when it's 98 degrees, if she misjudges her pace, she may get nailed. It's very hot, and you can never tell how you will react to extreme heat like this. Now, Mary trains and lives in Eugene, Oregon. Now, of course, everyone knew it would probably be hot here in Indianapolis, but Mary may not have gone out and trained in the hottest part of the day, and may not be heat acclimatized like some of the other runners behind her. So it's always scary when the conditions are as extreme as this. Extreme conditions, whether they're wind, rain, extreme cold, or extreme hot, do not favor the favorites. That's when crazy things happen.
It is still Mary Slaney, followed by PattiSue Plummer, a former distance star at Stanford who won the NCAA title in 5,000 meters and a senior in 1984. She's in 2nd. Then Vicki Huber from Villanova. And I think it is still Trina Leopold at number 567, a 22-year-old senior from Texas. And Mary Knisley, who was the 3,000 meters champion at the Pan American Games under all those hot and humid conditions, is in 5th. A calm pace, everyone looking like they're happy where they are as we continue our live coverage of the women's 3,000 meters. We're going to step away for a moment. We'll be back in plenty of time for the finish, but right now we want to find out what's been happening in the field events. Okay, Dan, you're looking live now at Mary Slaney in the lead. Her lead had really grown to be almost what I think to be 100 yards. Now Vicki Huber has moved up, and she is within 10 yards of Mary Slaney. In 3rd place still is PattiSue Plummer, the 26-year-old graduate from Stanford. Now in 4th is Mary Knisley, the 29-year-old from Allen, Texas. In 5th place is Sabrina Dornhoefer, a 24-year-old graduate from Missouri, a former NCAA champion in the 5,000 meters. And in 6th is Ruth Wysocki, wearing number 587, who was a shock surprise in the 1984 Olympic trials when she defeated Mary Slaney in the final of the 1,500 meters. But still, top 2, Mary Slaney, Vicki Huber, as the 2 women who lead this field have pulled away. Their lead over the second group of 3 women is about 20 yards or so.
Their time after 5 laps, 5:51. So Mary has been running even 72nd laps. Early in the race, Vicki Huber let her go, not wanting to judge her pace, and really more concerned with Mary Knisley, who now is moving into 3rd, and Ruth Wysocki. Ruth Wysocki has seemed to drop back and is not going to be in it. But Mary Knisley is moving into 3rd and moving up onto the pack. Once again, the question now in everyone's mind is the heat. And every runner reacts differently to heat. Whether Mary will have any problem with the heat is a question that's on everybody's mind. A smart thing for her to do is to now cut back, let the lead go to someone else for a while, and gather for a sprint. As we saw earlier before the race when she out-sprinted the Russian athletes in the 83 World Championships, Mary has a great finishing sprint. We haven't seen her from her often because she usually wins her races by such a large margin.
Vicki Huber, who had not met Mary Slaney but had admired her from afar, now running side by side with her in the women's 3,000 meter final.
Well, as you said, Vicki admires Mary Slaney. When you admire somebody, you hang out on their shoulder. She should either cut in front of her and take the pace or drop behind her, but running extra yards out in the second lane proves nothing at this point.
Right now it is Mary Slaney, Vicki Huber, then it is PattiSue Plummer, who has reclaimed 3rd place after moving as far back as 5th. There it is. That's PattiSue Plummer now being taken again by Knisley and Dornhoefer. So Dornhoefer and Knisley and PattiSue Plummer having quite a battle back there for the third and final position for this U.S. Olympic team. The bell lap is underway.
So one lap to go, and there are two battles in question. Vicki Huber and Mary Slaney. The battle still in question for first place, and a tremendous one for that third spot as PattiSue Plummer tries to make the early move down the back. Slaney with the slight edge. Vicki Huber continuing to run in second. Just check if she's on the team. I think it's going to be a close race. Vicki Huber has to, right now, get over the fact that Mary might be her idol and may have been watching her for 15 years on television. She has to make a strong move and forget about what's happening behind, but it looks as if Mary, with the slightest bit of pressure, is going to pull away.
Right now, it is Mary Slaney who has had everything from a fractured skull to Achilles tendon surgery, ankle stress fractures, and more, as PattiSue Plummer battles Sabrina Dornhoefer. Plummer, 26, Dornhoefer, 24. Looking to be the third and final place on this Olympic team. Slaney will come across the line, followed by Vicki Huber. They will be on the team. Look at the lead that Slaney has built up. Stride for stride. It is PattiSue Plummer, and Dornhoefer goes down. And PattiSue Plummer, as she collapses, will be the third and final member of the U.S. Olympic team. What a heartbreaking finish for Sabrina Dornhoefer, tripping and falling barely 20 meters from the finish. The unofficial time, 8:42.55, not close to a world mark.
In 1984, Mary Slaney won this event in 8:34. 8:42 in this heat shows that she's in much better shape than she was in 84, and we're seeing the effects in the heat. You saw the athletes change in that last lap in the race for third place as the heat got to them.
Let's go to Catherine Switzer. Catherine, go.
Mary, Vicki, fantastic race. Mary, you took command at the end like that, but we had our doubts for a minute.
Well, it's really hot, and my legs felt a little rubbery, but it was really nice to have someone come up on me like that, because up until now it's been so rare, and I'm so glad.
You're welcome. Vicki, you said you'd never met Mary before. What do you think now?
I met her right before the race, which is nice. It broke a lot of the tension I had felt beforehand. So,
great performance from both of them. Back up to you, Al.
Not as happy a scene as the third member of the U.S. Olympic team. PattiSue Plummer is down recovering from this humid heat, but she'll be happy when she realizes where she is. We had questions as to whether Edwin Moses would be ready. Today he proved to us that he would be. We wondered whether Mary Slaney would be able to lead the way for the United States to Seoul in the 3,000 meters. Clearly she can do that. And we have someone new to cheer for in the 100 meters, and that is Florence Griffith Joyner, the new world record holder there. Track and field Olympic trials continue to provide some enchanting stories, people we can really root for, we think. As we say goodbye, we send you now to Frank Gifford.